Mastering formal addressing. Recipient's name and title. Hello, English learners. Today, we're going to focus on a crucial aspect of letter writing: how to properly format the recipient's name and title in your letter. Getting this right can set a positive tone for your entire communication and shows respect and professionalism. So, let's get started. Before we dive into how to format, let's understand why it's important. Titles are significant in formal communication as they show respect towards the recipient's professional or social status. Whether it's Dr., Professor, Mr., Ms., Mrs., or any other, using the right title is key. When addressing someone in your letter, always try to identify the correct title to use. If you know the person is a doctor, use doctor. If they're a professor, use professor. If the gender and marital status of the recipient are known, use Mr. for men, and Ms. or Mrs. for women, according to their preference or marital status. If you're unsure about the gender or title, it's best to use the full name without a title or use a non-specific title like mix. Also, it's worth noting that some people prefer not to use titles at all, or may have a preference for a less common title. Whenever possible, try to find out what title the person you're writing to prefers to use. When writing the recipient's name and title, make sure to put the title first, followed by the first and last name. For example, you would write Dr. John Doe or Ms. Jane Doe. If you are unsure of the gender or the recipient prefers not to use gender-specific titles, you could write mix. Jamie Doe. Remember to capitalize the first letter of the title and the name. This shows respect and also adheres to proper English capitalization rules. In the case where you're addressing a letter to multiple recipients, if they share the same last name, you can address them together. For example, Dr. John Doe and Professor Jane Doe could be addressed as Drs. John and Jane Doe if they are both doctors, or Professor and Dr. Doe if one is a professor and the other is a doctor. If they have different last names, it's better to write out each name and title fully. Dr. John Doe and Professor Jane Smith. And that's it for today, folks. Hopefully, this has shed some light on the best ways to format the recipient's name and title when writing a letter. Properly addressing the recipient shows respect and professionalism, so make sure to get it right. If you're still unsure, don't be afraid to ask the person you're writing to how they prefer to be addressed. It's always better to ask than to make an incorrect assumption. Happy writing, and see you in the next video.